another classic Epcot pavilion. It has changed over the years. It was an opening day pavilion, but it is the same sort of structure inside, and it is dedicated to our living with the land. The boat ride takes you through greenhouses where they actually grow food that you can eat in restaurants or at Food and Wine around the World Showcase. And there's also a food court in there as well, where they do use ingredients from the boat ride. The hot air balloons that you see in the centre of the pavilion as you go in represent the seasons, the weather. So you've got autumn, spring, summer and winter. And it's the main part of the pavilion is pretty much unchanged. The only thing that they did add in 2004 was soaring. Originally it was soaring over California, and they recently changed it to soaring around the world. So let's go have a look. So inside you've got Soarin', living with the land, and you've got two sort of eating areas, Garden Grill and Sunshine Seasons, as well as you can do the Behind the Seeds tour, which if you check my April vlogs you will see that. So here are the hot air balloons inside. Originally it was more of a blue theme inside, but they have added the yellow streamers. So you've got summer, autumn, spring, winter, and the earth in the centre there. And this is the food court, Sunshine Seasons. Over the back there you have the Garden Grill, which is a revolving restaurant, and as the restaurant goes around it does actually go overlook the land, living with the land boat ride. Oh, I love that restaurant.
20 minutes now.
Living with the land. Oh, here's the drop! Whee!
Welcome to a voyage of discovery and awareness of the richness, the diversity, the often surprising nature of living with the land. Our journey begins as dramatic and sudden changes are sweeping over the land. The approaching storm may seem violent and destructive to us, but to nature, it's a new beginning in the cycle of life. Beneath the surface of the land, roots trap water from the flowing mud, extracting precious nutrients and minerals. These elements, when combined with sunlight, create the diverse living systems of our planet. Rich and productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicines, and other elements essential to our lives. In the desert, nature has created a very different, but no less beautiful living system. And while this arid landscape may seem lifeless, it is very much alive. This land, even the hooves of the mighty buffalo helped create the rich soil that would one day become home to the American farm. plants have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use and sometimes overuse of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize the impact of our methods. Today, we're learning to live with the land, discovering better ways to grow food that will assure both human and environmental well-being.
By developing and planting crops that thrive on saltwater. Here at Epcot, we're learning to reduce the need for pesticides by using natural predators like ladybugs and wasps to control pests.
Welcome to our living laboratory, where scientists from Epcot and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future. The tropics are home to the greatest diversity of plants on the planet. Many of these, like papaya, bananas, cacao, coffee, and rice, are well known around the world. These are just a few of the edible plants that have been an important source of nutrition for people living in the tropics. Many are rich in vitamins and minerals, while others are well adapted to growing in less than ideal conditions. Some, like the water lily, thrive in wet, swampy areas and waterways. All parts of this plant, even the flower petals, are edible. The starchy root of the plant has long been used to make flour for baking. One day, many of these lesser-known tropical plants may be as important as the bananas growing on both sides of the boat. More than 28 million tons of bananas are eaten annually, making it the most popular fruit in the world. Tilapia, bass, and catfish, like the ones you see here, are three of the more popular crops raised by fish farmers. The sustainable system we're using here recycles the water in the tanks. As a result, we're able to save millions of gallons each year. Our small fish farm produces nearly 5,000 pounds of fish each year to serve in restaurants around Walt Disney World. Innovations like this one can play an important role in our efforts to produce bountiful harvests and still protect natural resources. While there are more than 50,000 edible plant species in the world, most of us are only familiar with the handful that make up our everyday diet. The common grains growing here, wheat, maize, sorghum, and millet, plus rice, account for nearly 2/3 of our global food consumption. Learning how to increase yields of these staples is an important goal of research around the world. These plants are definitely on their way up. Innovative growing techniques like these increase yields while more efficiently using resources like water, fertilizer, and pesticides. Another innovation at work here is our integrated pest management program. By populating our greenhouses with beneficial insects that prey on harmful pests, like aphids and flies, we are significantly reducing our reliance on conventional pesticides. We're growing these crops using our nutrient film system. This technique precisely controls and recycles water and nutrients. With it, we can produce over 27,000 heads of lettuce a year in this one small area. The future of agriculture may include innovative ideas like this vertical growing system. Plants grown in this way use a fraction of the space required by traditional growing methods. That saves water and increases production. The aquaponics system on your left combines hydroponics with aquaculture. The fish provide a natural source of fertilizer for the plants, and the plants help keep the water clean for the fish. It's another great way to produce more while using less. In our lab, Epcot scientists are working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture on a number of innovative projects. Only then will we truly be living with the land. On behalf of Walt Disney World, we hope you've enjoyed this unique journey through our living laboratories. If you'd like a closer look, then check out the Behind the Seeds walking tour. It's a chance for the whole family to get up close and personal with the plants and growing techniques in our laboratories.
Here we go.
Yeah, we were in
Da,
Magic
da, da,
Kingdom.
da, da,
We just couldn't do anything.
da, da,
Couldn't check
da.
when our fast passes were. Yeah, so one of the kids left that kiosk.
Concourse A. Smell the savannah.
Hello and welcome to Soarin'. My name is Patrick and I'll be your chief flight attendant today. We'll begin boarding in a few minutes, but first I'd like to acquaint you with some important safety information. When the doors to your flight open, please take a seat and store all carry-on items in the underseat compartment. This includes cameras, purses, hats, and of course, these little beauties. Next, fasten your seatbelts, inserting them into the buckle on your right. If smaller aviators don't measure up to the height indicator on the seat, just put the belt through the loop in the center strap before buckling. Nice work, pal. Soon you will be airborne. So if you or your little aviators have a fear of flying or of heights, you might want to wait for your party at the arrival gate. Okay, let's review. That is seatbelt, carry-on item, safety strap, fear of heights, keep your hands and arms inside at all times. Anything else? Yeah. Have a nice flight.
I also like the way it kind of heads down to the rest of the park. You've got this beautiful waterfall that runs down here, goes under the bridge, and then pops out the other side right by the Land sign. And the sign I love because it's got that kind of retro 80s Epcot feel to it as well.